Welcome everyone, Spazzy Jones here bringing you a Lens Island video. Today I will be walking you through how to get every piece of armor in Lens Island since the Cursed Dungeons update on September 10th. With this new update, there are now a total of 11 sets of armor, most of which have 4 pieces, with a couple only having 2 pieces. I will walk you through how to find every single piece in the game. For those of you who have played previous versions of Lens Island, you will notice that this update introduced a ton of changes. So hopefully this will be informative for even the most die-hard Lens Island fans. Without further ado, let's dive into it. The first gear set is the leather gear set, composed of 4 pieces. The first being the leather Gambeson. This can be purchased immediately from Jared the Blacksmith on the starting island. The other 3, the leather bracers, leather greaves, and leather helmet, can also be purchased from Jared the Blacksmith, but will not be available in his store until you have purchased both the leather Gambeson and iron shield from him. The second set is the Knight's Gear Set, which again is composed of 4 pieces. The Knight's Bracers, the Knight's Chestplate, the Knight's Greaves, which can again all be purchased from Jared the Blacksmith on the starting island. However, keep in mind that you must first have purchased the complete leather set from Jared before the Knight's Gear Set becomes available in his store. And lastly, the Knight's Helmet is rewarded to you after killing the Void Boar in the second dungeon in the game, Tarragon City. Now for me, Tarragon City spawned to the west of the starting island, right here. The Tarragon City dungeon is always found on this Black Forest Island. However, remember, in Lens Island, the island's locations are randomly generated, so for you, the island might be in a different location. That said, the shape and content of the island will always be the same for all of you. So for instance, on this Black Forest Island, this dungeon will always be in the south of that island. Third gear set in the game is the Spike Gear Set, again composed of 4 pieces. The first piece, the Spike Chestplate, is rewarded to you after completing the Tier 3 dungeon Corrupted Monuments, which for me spawned in the southwest corner of my map. Keep in mind that the Tier 3 dungeons will only become available to you after defeating the Void Boar in the dungeon that occurs in the Black Forest. And as a reminder, the Black Forest Island is right here. Second, the Spike Greaves. The Spike Greaves are rewarded to you after completing the Tier 3 mini dungeon Corrupted Tombs, which for me was located just northeast of the starting island, right here. Third, the Spike Bracers. Bracers are rewarded to you after completing the Tier 3 mini dungeon Corrupted Chasm, which for me was located in the far north of my map. Lastly, the Spiked Helmet. The Spiked Helmet is rewarded to you after defeating the Void Troll in the Tier 3 dungeon Ancient Tomb, which can be found on the far east of the map on the desert island, at least for me. The fourth gear set is the Sorcerer's Gear Set, which is composed of 4 pieces. The Witch's Hat, the Sorcerer's Mantle, the Sorcerer's Bracers, and the Sorcerer's Greaves. Each of these items can simply be purchased from Centane the Sorcerer on the Desert Island immediately, which can be found, again, for me, spawned on the far east of the map. The fifth gear set is the Druid Gear Set, again composed of 4 pieces. The first 2 can be purchased immediately from Floyd Radier on the Black Forest Island, the Druid's Bracers, and the Druid's Chestplate. Keep in mind the Black Forest Island for me spawned to the west of the starting island. You'll be looking for this island right here. The other 2 pieces of gear can also be purchased from Floyd Radier, but only become available after first purchasing the Bracers and Chestplate. Those pieces of armor are the Druid's Helmet and the Druid's Greaves. The next 4 sets of gear are not really armor, but rather supplementary gear pieces that augment other facets of gameplay, and each of those 4 sets are only composed of 2 pieces rather than the armor, which are composed of 4. The first being the Explorer's Gear Set. The Explorer's Gear Set is composed of 2 pieces, the Explorer's Hat and the Explorer's Satchel. Each of these pieces of gear can be purchased from Alex on the starting island. However, you should keep in mind these items only become available from his store after defeating the Void Boar in the second dungeon, Tarragon City, which is located on the Black Forest Island. Again, Black Forest Island is right here to the west of my starting island, but again, for you, it might be in a different location. The next set of gear is the Farmer's Gear Set, composed of 2 pieces, the first being the Farmer's Bandana. The Farmer's Bandana is purchased from Steph on the starting island, but keep in mind you must first have purchased the basic watering can from Steph before this item becomes available in her shop. The second is the Farmer's Hat, which can be purchased from Steph as well, but keep in mind you must have first purchased the Farmer's Bandana and Scythe from Steph before this becomes available in her shop. The third special gear set is the Fisherman's Gear Set. The first piece is the Tackle Vest, which can be purchased from Kevin after purchasing the wooden fishing pole on the starting island. The second piece is the Fisherman's Fly Fishing Hat, which can also be purchased from Kevin, but again, similar to the Tackle Vest, can only be purchased after you've purchased the wooden fishing pole. And last, but certainly not least, the Wrecked Gear Set, which is probably one of the most secretive and rare gear sets in the game, and is composed of 2 pieces. The first of which is the Wrecked Helmet. The Wrecked Helmet can be found on a deserted island with a pirate flag that spawns randomly on your map, and the helmet can be found on a skeleton's body on that island. For me, that island spawned in the far south of my map, right here. The shape and content of the island will be the same for you, but the location may be different. The second piece of gear is the wrecked chestplate, which can be dug up as buried treasure on an island as shown on the treasure map. To find its location, you must first purchase the treasure map blueprint from Lucky Jack on the starting island and build that blueprint. On the constructed map, you will see a big red X on an island indicating where the treasure is buried. Sail to that island where you will find a small red starfish in the shape of an X. Equip your pickaxe and swing at that X to eventually dig up the wrecked chestplate. For me, the island spawned in the far west of my map, right here. And again, this island might be in a different location for you. The last two gear sets are the hardest to obtain, but in many ways are the best gear sets in the game. To obtain the following two gear sets, you simply need to clear the cursed versions of the Tier 2 and Tier 3 dungeons in the game. To unlock the ability to make a dungeon cursed, all you need to do is first clear the regular version of the dungeon. Following that, you have the option to make the dungeon cursed at the obelisk outside the dungeon. The first of these two gear sets is the Viking Gear Set, which is composed of 4 pieces. The first piece are the Viking Bracers. The Viking Bracers are rewarded to you after clearing the Tier 2 Cursed Mini Dungeon, Cursed Markets, which for me was found just southeast of the starting island. Second is the Viking Chestplate. For me, the Viking Chestplate can be rewarded to you after clearing the Tier 2 Cursed Mini Dungeon Cursed Outpost, which for me was located north of the starting island, right here. Third, the Viking Greaves. The Viking Greaves are rewarded to you after clearing the Tier 2 Cursed Mini Dungeon Cursed Mines, which for me was located to the northwest of the starting island, right here. And lastly, the Viking Helmet. The Viking Helmet is rewarded to you after clearing the Tier 2 Cursed Dungeon Cursed City, located on Black Forest Island. Reminder, Black Forest Island is right here, for me, to the west of the starting island. Final gear set in the game, and what I consider to be the best gear set in the entire game, is the Ancient Gear Set. This gear set again is composed of 4 pieces, the first of which, the Ancient Chestplate. This is rewarded to you after clearing the Tier 3 Cursed Mini Dungeon Cursed Monuments. For me, that dungeon is located in the bottom left-hand southwest corner of your map. Secondly, Ancient Bracers, which are rewarded to you after clearing the Tier 3 Cursed Mini Dungeon Cursed Chasm, which for me spawns in the very north of the map, right here. Third, the Ancient Greaves, which are rewarded to you after clearing the Tier 3 Cursed Mini Dungeon Cursed Tombs, which for me is located to the northeast of the starting island, right here. And finally, the Ancient Helmet, which I consider to be the absolute best gear piece in the entire game. And this piece is rewarded to you after clearing the Tier 3 Dungeon Cursed Tombs, which is located on the desert island to the far east of the map. At least it was for me. That's it. Thank you for watching. If I've missed any gear piece, please let me know. I still haven't got the achievement for finding all of the armor sets yet. I think it's a bug, but let me know in the comments if I have missed anything. I am planning on making more Lens Island content in the future. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment for any future Lens Island content you would like to see. Thank you.